Hello and welcome to the Slyphor channel. We're back with another cracker pack, which we haven't done in a while, and we're here with Battle for Zendikar. I bought a fat pack of Battle for Zendikar, which I do with the other cracker pack videos that I've done. I ended up missing out Magic Origins because last core set I ended up being very busy and very low on funds, and so I ended up missing the set, but I could not miss Zendikar. And now that we've moved into the new system, I decided that I would continue with this series. But I was thinking about doing something new with the series, so I'll either work it in with this video, or I will start it with the next video. So if you keep an eye on this and the next couple of videos of my Crackerpack series, you'll get to see what I'm talking about, and you'll get to kind of give me well, you can give me your feedback if you want, you don't have to, but I will probably continue with the new way of doing it if it ends up being worthwhile, which I'm sure it will be. One thing that was really good about the Battle for Zendikar Fat Packs is Full Art Land Pack. So they got this much of really nice Full Art lands. But I will start straight in with our first pack, with Gideon, ally of Zendikar, on the front. So we will just get straight in, and I will probably also sit and describe, well, we ended up getting to the pack a lot quicker. At the end I will probably talk about the new video idea for this, and it might be worked into this video, but it will probably be worked into the next one instead, as I will try and upload this one fairly quickly. We start with the Callistra Healer. It is a 2-drop in black Vampire Cleric ally, and allies are very important in this new... Sorry, that was me adjusting where I'm sat. Allies are very important in the Zendikar block because of the new keyword rule, Rally, which is whenever the creature with Rally or another ally enters, it triggers their ability, which in this case is a kind of extort. It's each opponent loses a life and you gain 1 life, and this is a 1/2 Vampire Cleric ally, so that's pretty good. Next we've got Reclaiming Vines for 2 and 2 green. Destroy target artifact, enchantment or land. Just making sure. And that's at sorcery speed. So that seems... it's okay, it's not amazing, but it could well see some play. There's not many artifacts or land, or artifacts or enchantments in this set that are special. Then we have our first Eldrazi for the set, Salvage Drone. For 1 blue, it is a 1/1 creature Eldrazi drone. It has Devoid, which is a new rule for the set, which is Eldrazi specific, and Devoid is that once this creature casts for a colour, but because it is devoid, it is colourless. So they are counted as colourless creatures for whenever they are in your deck, on the field, in your hand. They're colourless. When they're on the stack, they're still colourless. But you cast them for colours, which is the kind of thing they've got going with the Eldrazi in this set. It also has another new rule, Ingest, which is whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of their library. So it's kind of milling, but it mills into the exile. And then the Eldrazi have other cards that are called processors, who work with the cards that you've got in their exile, or in exile. And they have kind of more interesting effects. So you get out your little drones, which are ingesting devoid creatures, and then you get out your processors, which are bigger devoid creatures that work with the exiled cards, and then you get out your big guys, your big Eldrazi titans, and that's basically how the Eldrazi in this set work. The salvage drone also has that when it dies, you may draw a card, and if you do, discard a card. So it's a little bit of loot, which makes this actually a really good card. For a 1-drop 1/1 with the ingest rule, and it loots on death. That's pretty good. We then have another Eldrazi card. Not Eldrazi in text, but it is a devoid card. For 2 and a black, Swarm Surge is a sorcery with devoid, and creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Colourless creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. So that's the part that is Eldrazi themed, because it means all of your devoid cards, because they're colourless, gain first strike and +2/+0. So it's a Trumpet Blast in black that gives first strike if it's on Eldrazi's. That's actually really good. An off-colour Trumpet Blast. That is actually really awesome. Especially at common. We then have a Belligerent Whiptail, our first landfall card for the new Zendikar. For 3 and a red, it is a creature worm with landfall. Landfall was a rule from the original Zendikar block. It may well have been from earlier, but it was prominently in the original Zendikar block. And it is whenever a land enters the battlefield, effect triggers. And there were landfall enchantments, there were landfall creatures. There may well have even been a landfall artifact, I think. Can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, this is a 4/2 worm, and the landfall is it gains first strike until end of turn. Which for 4 isn't bad. Being able to give it first strike fairly reliably, and effectively making it a 4/4, because it means the opponent's not really going to hit it back. It's a bit vulnerable to a burn, but if you're playing red, you'd hope that you're the one doing the burning, and not the other way around. So that seems like a decent card. We then have a Stonehaven Medic. This is a core cleric. For 1 and a white, it is a 1/3, so a decent early game defender. And for white and tap, you gain 1 life. So it's a worse Soulmender, which is disappointing, but it's not bad. One of my decks that I'm building or the deck that I'm building in Standard in this new set is Orzhov Allies, based under the mythic Drana, and so it's vampire themed with things like the Gideons and Stonehaven Medics, and then various other allies. I'm not sure about Stonehaven Medic because the life gaining stuff is kind of a sub-theme to have a Felidar Sovereign, whereas if I focus it more on allies, then it might become better that way, but we shall see. We then have another Devoid card, Touch of the Void, a sorcery for 2 and a red with Devoid. Touch of the Void deals 3 damage to target creature or player, so it's a lightning bolt. If a creature dealt damage this way would die, put it in exile. So that's it kind of ingests it. It's a lightning bolt that ingests for 3, which is okay. It's not amazing. It's not a lightning bolt, definitely, but it's not bad. You can definitely take out some creatures with that. We then have another core, a Shadow Glider for 2 and a white. It is a 2/2 flyer and is a creature core soldier. So, not too bad. It's a bear, but then it flies for the extra 1 mana, which is okay. It's not a bad card. We then have a Stone Fury, which is an instant for 3 red. Stone Fury deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. So this is for the landfall decks and more of the decks along those lines which run heavy land, and it's just a big burn spell, I suppose. Not amazing, but not bad. We then have Smite the Monstrous. I've talked about this recently in the Khans block because it was a different artwork there, but this new artwork has a cool Ulamog-styled Eldrazi being attacked by a band of allies. And it's an instant, 3 and a white, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. That's what Smite the Monstrous does. So it's for taking out the big Eldrazi in this set. Our first uncommon, one that goes towards my collection, which I'm quite happy about, Angel of Renewal. My main collection is Angels, just to inform you there. And this is a creature angel ally. It is for 5 and a white, a 4/4 flyer, which isn't bad. And whenever it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. So if you're running small drop allies, you can get quite a good amount of life off this, which could then work back into other cards. I might put this in my standard deck, I'm not sure. It's a bit of a high drop. Maybe. Our next uncommon, Blighted Gorge. The Blighted lands are a new cycle of uncommon lands, not basic lands, which is unfortunate. Well, and slightly obvious. They all tap for a colourless and then have an ability of the colour that they're associated with. So this is the red one, being a Gorge, and it is 4 and a red, tap and sack Blighted Gorge, and you shock target creature or player, so deal 2 damage to target creature or player. I think my favourite of this cycle is the green one, the Blighted Woodlands, I think it is, and it, again, is a land, taps for a colourless, but it's, I think, 2 and a green, tap and sacrifice it and go and search for 2 lands and then put them onto the battlefield tapped, which then double landfall triggers on everything. Which is really good because it just replaces itself and also fetches you a land for not a massive amount of mana. But this one's not bad. A shock is sometimes worth it. For 5, not so much. But if it finishes off your opponent, 5 is worth the price. We then have one of the Eldrazi Titans, the Butcher of Armies, or Breaker of Armies, sorry. There's a different one called Butcher of Kozilek or something. Butcher of Armies, for 8 colourless, he has a creature Eldrazi, and he has a 10/8, and all creatures able to block the Breaker of Armies do so. So he's a heavy hitter as a 10/8, and he just swings in and, yeah, forces everything to block him. So you get him and a few other big Eldrazi out. Swing him with all of them, everything has to block him, your others kill your opponent. It's pretty good. He is pretty good. And then we have, yes, our rare, the Lantern Scout. This one is a heavy focus in my standard deck that I was talking about. For 2 and a white, it's a 3/2 Human Scout Ally. So again, it's an ally, and it has Rally. And its Rally is when it or another ally enters the battlefield, which is the Rally rule, all your creatures gain lifelink until end of turn, which is really good, because my Orzhov allies are based around rally mechanics and lifelinking, kind of extorting, gaining life to get counters on some of the bigger vampires, and things like that. So I'm really happy to have pulled a Lantern Scout, that's a pretty good one. And let's see if there's anything else behind it. Ooh, the full art planes. I'll just let you soak up that art. Hopefully you can see it pretty well. And then we have a core ally token. Nice. So yeah, that was a pretty cool pack. And I will now do my quick pick of the pack, which I think is either going to be the Lantern Scout, even though I don't normally do... No, we'll stick to my rulings from before. So, excluding the rare, I think it's probably the Savage Drone. Not immediately a kind of big standout, but with all of its rules it utilises the kind of new Eldrazi section of the set really well to kind of get you to big things like Breaker of Armies. So Savage Drone is probably my pick of the pack. And then I'm now going to talk you through the idea that I had. And the idea that I had is in pack breakers, what I might start doing is instead of opening the pack and talking you through all the cards, because you probably get that with every other and any other Cracker Pack videos that you watch. What I'm thinking is I will either quickly flick through them, giving you a general idea of my views on the cards. I probably won't talk through all of their rules and things until a new set comes up, in which case I'll cover all of the new rules like I've done with this pack. So like where I've told you what Devoid, Ingest and Rally are, and I gave you a brief overview of what Ingest is. We didn't get any Awaken cards in this set though. That's another new rule which turns a land into an elemental with counters on it. And we didn't get Converge either, was the other one, which is similar to Domain. It's Domain, where Domain is the number of basic lands of different colours, Converge is the amount of different colours of mana you spent on the spell, and that pays for X of whatever the spell does, so burns or draw cards or tutor lands or something. But yeah, back to the point, the idea that I've had for my new ones is that I am going to do an art section. So I'm either going to take the rare from each pack that I open, which in this instance would be Lantern Scout, or I do a quick pick of the pack, like I've done with this one for Savage Drone, and pick that one. So for this it will either be Lantern Scout or Savage Drone. Let you see the artworks a bit more. And then I draw my interpretation of the artwork, so more in my kind of style of drawing, but from the kind of concept idea that the original artist has had for the card. So for Savage Drone I might do like a swarm of the little Savage Drones kind of piling over something and eating it, whereas this one is just a single Savage Drone. Or for Lantern Scout I might do kind of a different pose, maybe, I don't know, walking through like a crevasse. This one seems to be walking through a crevasse, so if I do like walking through some jungle or something and like peering through the trees with the lantern, or kind of the lantern on like a banner pole or something. There's some ideas that can go with that. The idea behind this new way that I'm going with my Cracker Packs is so that I can create some art, as I am now technically a illustrator for hire. So if you need any, this is a good way for anyone who's interested to see some of my artwork. If I decide to do it for this pack, I will probably just put the finished art piece up afterwards. For other packs, I might do either a kind of slow motion of my creating the alternate artwork, or I will still do the talk through all of the cards and then just have the piece of artwork at the end once I've done my either pick of the pack or shown you the rare, depending on how I want to do it. So if you're interested in leaving feedback, then let me know in the comments, and then we can see how it goes. So yeah, there might not be another one of these for a couple of weeks, depending on how quick I am at making the artwork and how much free time I have, and obviously how much feedback I get quickly after this one is uploaded. So we shall see. But yeah, if you let me know, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully you'll enjoy the new video style, the kind of type that I'm doing, the kind of artwork cracker pack. And yeah, the original idea for it came to me from watching Magic Man Sam's channel and watching his ink moth works that he does. So thank you for the inspiration, Sam. And your videos are amazing, and they're helping me strive to try something new. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this video. I shall see you next time with some artwork and another pack. Goodbye.